The search continues for Malaysia's next Prime Minister. The King is said to have called for an end to political bickering while meeting party leaders. The country is in a leadership crisis after Muhyiddin Yassin and his cabinet resigned. All 220 MPs have until tomorrow to nominate a candidate for the top job. Melissa Goh joins us live now for more on this. Mel, it appears as if the King is trying to get political factions to work together.
Oh, yes, at least 8 different party leaders entered the palace this afternoon for the meeting with the monarch. They include opposition Pakatan Harapan leaders Anwar Ibrahim, Lim Guan Eng, Mat Sabu and Mukris Mahathir from Parti Pejuang, UMNO President Ahmad Zahid Hamidi as well. Islamic Party PAS was represented by its Deputy President Tuan Ibrahim, whilst the Secretary-General Hamzah Zainuddin attended the meeting on behalf of Bersatu Party. Now, caretaker Prime Minister Muhyiddin wasn't there. Now, the meeting went on for about 2 hours, and it was cordial, according to leaders who attended the meeting. Both the King, Sultan Abdullah Ahmad Shah, and his deputy, Sultan Nazrin of Perak, gave their advice to the leaders to put the country and the people's interests above all else and focus on getting the country out of the pandemic and the economy back on track. And that should be the priority, His Majesty said. Now, Anwar, speaking outside the palace, said that this was unanimously agreed by all the party leaders to ditch the old politics. He said that's futile and tiring and move towards a more harmonious and constructive working relations. So no more intimidation, no more ill will, he said. Let's take a listen.
Bentuk politik harus berubah. Maknanya yang menang itulah yang janganlah jadi seperti pernah berlaku, menekan yang kalah. Maka harus ada satu menggarap kekuatan semua parti dengan semangat persefahaman baru, muafakat baru, bekerja sama untuk menangani masalah COVID-19 dan juga mengangkat semula ekonomi negara.
It's always easier said than done. There's so much bad blood among the politicians from both sides of the aisle, thanks to the political treacheries and the defection and the deceit all these while. So let's see whether they walk the talk and work together for real once a new Prime Minister has been decided, hopefully before the end of the week, given the raging pandemic and that the country can't be stuck in political crisis on top of health and socio-economic crisis. Don?
Well, Mel, we've heard some familiar names as potential candidates, but are there any front-runners?
Well, the clock is ticking. The deadline is tomorrow by 4 p.m. for the 220 MPs to submit their statutory declarations. They can only nominate one name as Prime Minister with clear and unconditional support. Now, it's hard to gauge at this point in time who's leading, but things are still evolving and changing on the ground as we speak, especially over at UMNO camp right now at the party headquarters. The leaders are meeting tonight to agree on the single candidate. It won't be easy because UMNO is now split into 2-3 factions, with former Deputy Prime Minister Ismail Sabri and former Foreign Minister Hishamuddin Hussein and UMNO veteran 84-year-old Tengku Razali Hamzah all in a running. While the focus over at the opposition front, Anwar Ibrahim is said to be the front runner, together with Shafi Abdal, the former Chief Minister of Sabah. Now, both are slugging it out in a friendly match, Shafi said. Now, a decision, he said, will be made just hours before the deadline tomorrow. I spoke with him earlier. Now, the opposition, he said, will only have one candidate. Now, this is what he said. Let's take a listen.
We have sort of like agreement or understanding where a candidate coming from opposition, that there's 2 candidates. One is Anwar and second is me. So we start with a base of 105. I spoke to Anwar just now, even at the palace. So he said, no, we start at 105, that sort of thing. So whoever get exceeding more than that, if Anwar gets, say, like more than that 105, then he will be the candidate. So if I get more than that 105, then I'll be the candidate.
Well, according to Shafi, who also spoke with former Prime Minister Dr. Mahathir Mohamad, he's agreeable, he said, to the plan as well, Dr. Mahathir. Now, he's been insisting on having a bipartisan council that cuts across party lines with capable leaders and professionals running the country, at least till the country is ready for the next general election. Now, he's been awfully quiet. He hasn't said a word since the resignation of Prime Minister Muhyiddin Yassin. But regardless, Once the statutory declarations are sent to the palace, the king will decide and validate with the MPs. The chosen one will then have to move a confidence motion in Parliament on the floor before he gets to be the 9th Prime Minister. So all these are still up in the air. Hopefully there will be clarity later this week, if not by tomorrow evening.
Plenty of discussions through the night. Plenty of those discussions through the night, I expect. Melissa, thank you very much for that. Melissa Go there in Kuala Lumpur.